While other children were still busy playing, you were the one sitting quietly, observing the world with eyes that seemed to have seen it all. No one taught you how to feel others' sadness or how to ask profound questions about life. Yet these things came to you early, as if they were part of your very being. You've always felt older than your age, not in appearance or knowledge, but in the depth of your thoughts, your emotions, and the things that haunt you. Sometimes you wonder, why can't I be carefree like others? Or why do I understand without needing an explanation? Perhaps it's because you carry within you a soul that has lived many lifetimes, has loved, lost, forgiven, and let go. And so, you're not just living in the present, but continuing a long journey of wisdom and awakening. You're not lost. You are quietly remembering the light within you. And that is what makes you special, effortlessly so. There are people who don't need to say much, don't need grand gestures. Just their presence alone is enough to ease someone's pain. If you're an old soul, you may have been that person, the one who sits silently beside someone hurting, not judging, not teaching, just listening, and somehow the other person breathes easier. You don't heal with advice, you heal with understanding. You don't try to be a savior, but your eyes, your voice, your soft energy become a safe haven for wounded hearts. Your healing isn't loud. It's the warmth someone feels when they're understood without needing to explain. It's the gentle touch of your hand on one that's trembling, carrying the message, I'm here, it's okay. You don't carry medicine, but you carry compassion, and that soothes wounds that time or words cannot heal. Your presence is a gift, a sacred space where someone can exhale, let go, and begin again. That's the quiet magic an old soul carries, not to shine, but to hold together the broken light in others. In a world that shouts to be heard, you choose the quiet act of listening. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you understand. Sometimes silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. You don't interrupt to prove you're right. You don't chase the spotlight or praise. Instead, you listen with your whole heart, hearing not just the words, but the feelings behind them, the silences in between, the emotions that others overlook. For you, listening is sacred. It's how you hold the world, gently, without judgment. It's how you connect, not through logic, but through empathy. You know that sometimes all someone needs is for another to sit beside them and truly hear them. No advice, no fixing, just presence. And you are that someone. Not because you speak much, but because you listen with your soul. Have you ever stepped into a place you've never been, but it felt strangely familiar? As if you had stood there once before, even if memory can't confirm it? Or met someone for the first time, but your heart whispers, I've known them forever. That feeling is called déjà vu. But for old souls, it isn't just a fleeting trick of the mind. It might be the blurred memory of a past life resurfacing, a gentle reminder that you've lived, loved, and experienced across dimensions beyond this one. Such moments make you pause, reflect, and touch the thin veil separating now from then. You can't explain it, but you know. You know this soul has journeyed far. You know something is awakening from within, not from outside. And you know you're not living just once. You're continuing a story that isn't finished. Sometimes, déjà vu is the universe's soft gift, a whisper reminding you you are not lost. You are remembering sacred pieces of your soul on a journey back to yourself. There are things you can't learn from books, can't be taught in a classroom, yet you seem to understand them as if you brought them from another place. That is inner wisdom, the silent knowing that needs no teaching. You don't need anyone to tell you that pain is the greatest teacher. You don't need a reminder that unconditional love is the most sacred gift. These truths already live inside you, like soul memories, like ancient light that survived through lifetimes. While others still search for meaning, you see it hidden in every moment of chaos. You don't argue to win, you don't need to. You know what's true doesn't always need defending. Your inner wisdom teaches you to live slowly, observe deeply, and love with empathy. You don't get lost in life's surface because you always see the current flowing underneath. You are living proof. Wisdom doesn't always come with degrees. Sometimes it comes with soul experience. And sometimes, the deepest wisdom shines through quiet silence. There are things you can't learn from books, can't be taught in a classroom, yet you seem to understand them as if you brought them from another place. That is inner wisdom, the silent knowing that needs no teaching. You don't need anyone to tell you that pain is the greatest teacher. You don't need a reminder that unconditional love is the most sacred gift. These truths already live inside you, like soul memories, like ancient light that survived through lifetimes. While others still search for meaning, you see it hidden in every moment of chaos. You don't argue to win, you don't need to. You know what's true doesn't always need defending. Your inner wisdom teaches you to live slowly, observe deeply, and love with empathy. You don't get lost in life's surface because you always see the current flowing underneath. You are living proof. Wisdom doesn't always come with degrees. Sometimes it comes with soul experience. And sometimes, the deepest wisdom shines through quiet silence. You don't enjoy competing, not because you lack the ability, but because it feels meaningless to you. Life isn't a race, but a journey of returning to yourself. You don't care who's ahead or behind. You know every soul has its own pace, its own path to learn and grow. So you don't compare, not with others, and not harshly with who you were yesterday. Instead, you've learned to accept change as a natural part of life. You choose to live quietly, but fully. You don't need to prove you're talented. You don't need validation to feel worthy. What makes you happy is living truthfully, doing what matters to you, even if it's small, as long as it comes from the heart. And in living this way, you become a rare piece in a world of noise and competition. Not because you're at the top, but because you stand exactly where your soul needs to be. You don't need to be more than others, just whole within yourself. You don't just listen with your ears, you listen with your heart. When someone smiles, you can still see the hidden tears in their eyes. When someone is silent, you hear the words they never said. You have a heart so sensitive, the pain of others sometimes feels like it pierces your own. Without many words, you still understand, not because you've been through the same, but because your soul has walked through many lives. Your empathy isn't just a trait, it's a gift. A gift that makes others feel safe, seen, and understood. Maybe you're an old soul, carrying wordless memories of love and loss, of falling and rising again. And because you've known so many shades of emotion, you can hold another's pain with unconditional love. You don't need to heal anyone. Your presence alone softens the world. Some people live loudly, but in each of your quiet actions, each choice you make, there's something deeper, as if you're following a path only your soul truly understands. If you're an old soul, you've likely felt this too, a silent, undeniable purpose guiding your steps. You're not here just to survive or to fulfill the world's expectations. Something in your heart whispers constantly. You came here to do something meaningful, not just for yourself, but for those whose lives you touch. And so you walk gently without rushing, but with great resolve. Maybe you don't have a clear map, but you live by intuition, led by your inner compass. Deep beneath all the ups and downs, you know there's a sacred reason you were born into this life. You don't need applause, don't need the spotlight. You just want to live truly, to love and to share your small light with the world. Because you know, purpose isn't for show. It's something we quietly fulfill through sincerity, awareness, and a heart that keeps whispering, I'm here for a reason. Some people find themselves in crowds. You find yourself in stillness. You're not drawn to shallow conversations or noisy places. Your heart yearns for something else. Silence, sincerity, and soulful dialogue. Silence doesn't make you lonely. It's where you return to recharge and truly hear your inner voice. In that space, you don't need to fit in or rush with the world. A quiet room, a listening soul, or even a sunset at your window, that's enough for you to feel alive and deeply connected. Maybe you're an old soul, tired of meaningless noise, longing to return to the gentle truth inside yourself. And perhaps, in this chaotic world, your stillness is the rarest gift of all. Since childhood, you've carried questions in your heart that even adults often avoid. Who am I? Why am I here? Is the soul something beyond life and death? These questions didn't worry you, they made you quiet. You were never satisfied with easy answers, because your soul seemed to know there was something deeper waiting to be discovered. While others chase the surface, you return to the roots. While the world rushes after success, you pause to search for meaning. Maybe you don't have the answers yet, but what makes you special is that you dare to ask. That is the mark of an old soul, a soul that has lived through many lifetimes and returns with a hunger to remember the original truth, that we are not just bodies, but light seeking its way home. And that journey always begins with a question. In a world where fame and wealth are seen as success, you quietly walk to a different rhythm. Money may bring comfort, status may earn respect, but deep down, they've never stirred your soul. You're not drawn to the glitz of life. You crave something real, an honest conversation, an understanding gaze, a silent moment filled with love. To you, success isn't what's seen, but how truthfully you live each day. You understand that everything outside can be lost, but your connection to yourself, to others, and to your soul, that is eternal. Maybe you're an old soul, one who once lived in luxury or power and now only seeks peace, truth, and unconditional love. And that makes you profound, a quiet reminder in this noisy world that real value doesn't need to shine. It just needs to touch the heart. Sometimes you feel like you're out of sync with the world. Everyone seems to be rushing, chasing, while you just want to stop and listen to the silence. There are moments when you look up at the night sky and your heart aches, as if your soul remembers a place not found on any map, but deeply familiar. Quiet, ancient place where everything has meaning and every soul is understood. That feeling of not belonging doesn't make you lost, it awakens you. It reminds you that you didn't come here to blend in, but to carry a piece of original light through the chaos. Perhaps you're an old soul who has journeyed through forgotten civilizations and now returns, wanting only to live truthfully, deeply, with a heart that remembers exactly who you are. You don't belong to this world because you came to illuminate it. Some feel lonely without company, but you find peace in silence. Being alone doesn't empty you, it revives your soul. You're not afraid of quiet, you need it. It's fertile ground where your emotions settle, where your deeper questions find room to echo. When the world becomes too loud, you retreat inward, where you feel the breath of your soul. In that space, there's no pressure to perform, no need to prove, just the pure presence of you with yourself. You live inwardly, not because you're shy, but because you carry an entire universe within you. A universe full of memory, intuition, and wisdom that needs time to be heard and nurtured. Perhaps you are an old soul, and it is in this quiet that you remember who you are. It is the space where you heal, regenerate, and prepare to return to the world with a steady heart and a gentle light that shines from within. Some chase the new, the modern, but your soul softens in the presence of something old. A weathered book, a vintage song, a full moon hanging silently in the sky. You don't love these things for their appearance alone, but because they feel like home. It's a feeling beyond words, something your heart simply recognizes. Old things awaken invisible memories, memories that don't belong to this lifetime. They slow you down, draw you inward, and reconnect you with the part of your soul the modern world forgets. You don't crave the flashy, you crave truth. You don't need noise, you need depth. And perhaps for that reason you are an old soul, a quiet wanderer returning to the sacred traces left behind in life's chaos. Not out of nostalgia, but to remember. Some values never age: awareness, compassion, and the silent beauty of a soul that has traveled far and is finding its way home. If you saw yourself in the signs above, the silence, the depth, the feeling of being different but awakened, then perhaps you are an old soul. An old soul doesn't need to stand out, but always carries a gentle light within. They don't need to know all the answers, but hold a quiet wisdom, as if they've walked these paths before, in lifetimes long past. And if you're on that journey, not one of seeking something new, but of returning, then know this: you are not alone. Many souls are quietly awakening, listening to the sacred call within their hearts. Keep living with sincerity, keep planting light in silence, because every step you take, every choice you make is part of a greater journey, a journey of remembering that the light you seek was never out there. It's always been within you, all along.